Hello, and welcome to the first ever TopGear.com US Car Awards. Yep, we've gone supersized and stateside to crown the greatest new vehicles in the US market that you can buy right now. So coming up, we've got Car of the Year, Truck of the Year, SUV of the Year, Manufacturer of the Year, Supercar of the Year, and stick around to the end for the TG Tech Award and a special guest who you might know.
Thanks, Jack.
To qualify for the awards, each car had to be launched within the last 12 months. For the Car, Truck and SUV Awards, we gathered our entire shortlist together in Detroit for back-to-back testing on road and track. And for Supercar of the Year, we arranged a heavyweight clash at the 1010th circuit in Charlotte for some, scientific evaluation. Right, time to hand out some trophies.
Okay, so let's kick things off with our Car of the Year, and it goes to this, the box fresh Dodge Charger Sixpack. Look, it says Sixpack here. We've got something in common. So this is the car formerly known as the Dodge Charger Daytona. That one had an EV powertrain and wasn't very good. This one now has a gas engine, and quite frankly, it's a revelation.
The Dodge wasn't actually present in Detroit as the launch came a little later, so we only had a trio of contenders there. Kia K4, Tesla Model 3 Performance and Hyundai Elantra N. We found the Kia refreshingly simple and honest, if a little dull, and the Tesla a bit one-dimensional as a driver's car.
You know we can actually drive these things, right?
Yeah, but this is actually more fun than driving this, for real.
So it was the Hyundai that we liked the most, with its fruity engine, engaging yet safe chassis, and the fact that it's comfortable enough when you're not on it. Americans, you don't know how lucky you are. Our old friend the i30N lives on, albeit with a smidge more rear legroom.
Unfortunately for the Elantra, we drove this thing a few weeks later, and with its new inline-six twin-turbo engine, it's got 550 horsepower. If you go for the Scat Pack, it's kind of the car we always wanted the new Charger to be. A stout and steady daily driver 1 minute, and then a tail-happy drift toy the next. It's not perfect, it's quite heavy, it's got a slow-witted auto box, the ride height is bizarrely high, but it handles way better than we expected, and you can switch it between all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive instantly. And most importantly, it's got character. And how many daily drivers can you say that about? Okay, so next up, it's Truck of the Year, and the winner is the brilliant new Rivian R1T quad motor. Now, the shortlist for this award was a proper motley crew. We had the Ford Maverick Lobo and the GMC Sierra EV up against the Rivian, which, by the way, do you know that this car sounds like an owl when you lock it?
We loved the GMC's 400-mile range, tech-filled cabin, and the canyon of space, but we couldn't get past the fact that it weighed 9,000 pounds. 9,000! That's over 4 tons if you come from our side of the Atlantic. We also loved the price, playfulness, looks, and simplicity of the Maverick Lobo, and the Ford damn near won it.
But it was the Rivian that we just couldn't ignore. The interior quality on this thing now is just superb, and because you've got those 4 independent motors, it's not only obscenely fast, but it's more maneuverable off-road as well. And you've also got this rad tuner, which shows what's possible with good software that makes the most of an EV's configurability. So you can be king of the hammers in this thing 1 minute and then Duke of the Drifters the next. Anyway, congrats Rivian. Moving on. Okay, next up, it's SUV of the Year, and the winner is this, the Cadillac Lyriq-V, an outrageously quick coupe SUV type thing. Now, the standard Lyriq is currently the Uber exec of choice in America, but the V dispenses with that image because it's got 607 horsepower and does 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds, making this the quickest Cadillac ever.
Unsurprisingly, given SUVs are taking over the world, this was the longest shortlist of all. We also had the Ford Expedition Tremor, the Tesla Model Y, Toyota 4Runner Trailhunter and the Hyundai Ioniq 9 in the running. The Expedition is massive, kitted up to the eyeballs, surprisingly quick and capable off-road, but slightly ruined by its ultralight steering and tiny squircle steering wheel. The Tesla is generally extremely impressive if you can live with the ultra-minimalist interior, and to be fair, the Tesla nearly won this one. The Toyota 4Runner looks great and makes some lovely turbo noises through its snorkel, but stumbles on ride and rear legroom, while the Ioniq 9 is quiet, soft and quite lovely to drive, but a bit squashed in the third row. And expensive.
And that leaves the electric Caddy, which drives so much better than something weighing 2.7 tonnes deserves to. It's lightning quick, of course, but not sickening, and it just looks and feels premium inside and out. It's just a great all-rounder. Congrats, Caddy. But don't sit down yet, because we've got another one for you. Yep, Cadillac, the company responsible for this absolute cruise liner of a car here, the Escalade IQ, has also won Manufacturer of the Year.
The standard of the world. Be iconic. Dare greatly. Cadillac has had many different brand catchlines over the past couple of decades as it searched for its new identity, and now it's found it. By electrifying the entire lineup over the last few years, Lyriq, Escalade, Celestique, all 5.5 glorious meters of it, Optique and Vistique, and they're all pure EVs, and it did this while still offering its regular Escalade and superb petrol-powered CT4 and CT5 Blackwing models on the side. In 2025, it also took pole position at Le Mans, and we got the head-spinning news that it will be joining the Formula One grid from 2026 as a full factory team.
So in the space of just a few short years, Cadillac has launched an entire new range of EVs, including a Rolls-Royce competitor. It's taken pole position at Le Mans, and it's launched a full factory F1 team. It's gone from being one of the most bland and boring companies to one of the most bold and ambitious badges out there. And if that doesn't deserve an award, I don't know what does. Just look at the size of it. This is the short wheelbase version. Now it's time for something a little bit more leery, Supercar of the Year. So Jethro and I have just spent the last 2 days at the amazing 10 Tenths Motor Club in Charlotte, North Carolina, driving these two American psychos around the track, the Ford Mustang GTD and the Corvette ZR1. The tyres? Yep, the tyres are still warm, the brakes are still smoking a little bit, and you can see that full track battle film next week. So if you don't want to know the result of it, look away now.
This was a clash of the titans. The ferocity of both these cars on what is an undulating but fairly tight track was insane. The GTD sounded unbelievable, looked ridiculously cool, and gave proper motorsport vibes the way it pinged off the curbs and stayed so flat in the corners. Ultimately, it offers more downforce and more grip than the Corvette, but there's no escaping the near 2-ton weight of the GTD. The ZR1 was a force of nature, pulling wheelies as it crested the hump onto the main straight and offering barely any turbo lag and way more traction than you'd expect from something with a 1064 brake horsepower boosty V8. We'll save the lap time comparisons for the full film, you do not want to miss that, but this was so close.
But in the end, we went with the Corvette. To be honest, it's one of the closest tests we've ever done. It could have gone either way, but in the end, this thing, it's just the manifestation of the American dream. All that power for, what, almost half the price of the Mustang GTD. And this isn't just some hot rod that can't put that power down. It's got over 1,000 horsepower, but you can use it properly on the track. It's well sorted, it's so exciting, it's a spectacular car. Okay, time for our final winner, and this one is called the TG Tech Award. It acknowledges a leap forward in automotive tech, but something that's a tangible and positive benefit to the user experience. So this one is for anyone that's ever fumbled around with a wet charging cord or parked just a little bit too far away from the plug. It goes to Porsche's new wireless charging system, available as an option on the new Cayenne electric. And to show you all how it worked, we asked Porsche to send the kit to YouTube tech boss Marques Brownlee's studio in New Jersey. And here's his report.
Thanks, Jack. So, I was able to get my hands on and test the new electric Porsche Cayenne's wireless charger. Yeah, for the whole EV, not just a small hybrid battery, but a wireless charger for the whole car. And it was better than expected. So there's already a lot going on with the new electric Cayenne, but maybe the most important thing to know is there's a 113 kilowatt hour battery under there. And while yes, you can fast charge on either side with the NACS or CCS ports, there's also a slower overnight charge in a garage that you might not want to think too hard about. And for Porsche, that meant making a pricey but optional wireless charging pad that I got to try. Basically, as you pull into your garage, when the car gets close to the pad, an ultra-wideband signal triggers the camera and this UI in the car that helps you slowly pull up to it and line everything up. You see these blue lines on the outside where your tires are, and the green lines are the width of the charging coil. So right as you're about to get over the top of it, it switches to the overhead view. You basically put the ball in the basket, and then you're good. You get over it, you switch to park, and then the charging starts. And it ramps up, ramping all the way up to 11 kilowatts of power into the battery, which is actually kind of nuts considering there's still quite a gap between the car and the puck on the ground. And speaking of that gap, there are actually sensors all the way around the tray and under the car, so that if something were to blow across, like a plastic bag or even like a pet, if it interrupts and gets in between the car and the pad, it halts charging right away. And then if that thing leaves, it resumes charging again. But if that doesn't leave, it actually sends a notification to the Porsche app on your phone. So honestly, the whole thing actually seemed to work really well. Actually kind of anticlimactic, but that's really the point. You're supposed to just be able to pull into the garage, not think about it, not fumble with any cables or adapters or anything, just park and walk away. No, it won't be as fast as a cable. No, it won't be as efficient as a cable. But the fact that you can just pull up and park and walk away and not think about it, and you charge up overnight every single time, is kind of the ideal luxury EV setup. And so that's why, for me, it's worthy of winning the Top Gear Tech Award. Okay, back to Jack.
Thanks, Marques. Hope you didn't fry the office dog. And that brings us to the end of the first ever TopGear.com US Car Awards. Hope you enjoyed it. Massive congratulations to all our winners, and thank you for watching.